Hi, welcome back to the now officially named Not for the Coffee Shop. This is episode 3 of the podcast. Special guest Elias, say hi. And
Hello.
I'm going to give the floor to RJ.
Yeah, all right. Um, so we finally named it, and that's cool because we've been trying to come up with a name for like years. Just kidding. Like it's been like a week, but Anyways, so I wanted to kick it off this time, and I wanted to ask Elias some stuff because we're interested hearing what our guest has to say. So, broski, I want to ask you,
Broski.
what if you have any, what are your plans for your future after high school? I know you're a sophomore, so like they might not be set in stone, but I'm just curious on what kind of you dream of or what you just kind of feel like you want to do.
Well, something that I really wanted to do, I really wanted to be a vet because, like, I like animals and stuff. I want to take care of them, but like, vet school is expensive.
Yeah, vet school is,
Yeah.
Very expensive,
and
and I ain't got the money for that.
yeah, it's like a year longer than being just like a regular, like an ER doctor or something. The schooling is like a year and a half longer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
it's expensive and long, and I ain't got time for that, honestly. Like, I love animals and all, but I love myself more.
Elias immediately after looking up how long it would take and how expensive it would be to be like a vet tech or something like that, he immediately went over to the Starbucks website and put in an application.
honestly,
he said, "Yeah, this ain't for me."
No.
I'm God.
Not for me.
God.
Yeah,
Really
yo.
though.
And that kind of like takes me to like, you know, school isn't for a lot of people. I know like you're maybe not school in general is what you're talking about, but like the length of the school you're talking about is like not maybe for you. But there's people out there where it's like school isn't for them. And I found myself being one of those people, yeah. And it's kind of hard because everybody in your life, when you're like that, is going to push you to go.
Yeah.
And then the people that support you won't. But then it's like other people that support you in everything else will. And then it's like you're trying not to disappoint everybody. And it's like, what are you doing?
By support you mean the people that are your friends don't care what you do, and the people that are literally supporting you by feeding you and paying your bills, those are the ones that want you to go.
Right, literally.
Yeah, I guess.
Facts.
For me, I don't know, my experience has been a little different because my parents are 100% down for me not going immediately and trying to focus on making sure I'm ready. But there's been other people in my life that also are very important to me, but like aren't so cool with that. And they're like, yo, no, you should really go, like at least take classes and at least do all this stuff. And I'm like, what if I'm not mentally ready for that stuff? And also college is money. That's money, bro.
A
Like it's
lot
a
of
lot
money.
of money.
A lot of money. People
I
be
feel
paying
like-
off their student loans for like the rest of their lives.
Yeah, I'm not about to spend that money on like basics. Like I'm not finna go to school and relearn what I learned in high school and then have nothing from it. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, like, and it's like I feel like college is very necessary for you if you're going into certain fields, like medically, like Elias just mentioned. Yes, like it's very important that you get that education, but it's also super expensive. But doctors, like, they make up for that because they get paid a lot of money because they are good at what they do, and there's not a lot that are. But it's like going to college for things that a lot of people do and that aren't as high paying, or maybe like you get degrees, but then you don't end up using those degrees, and then you do them.
It's just like a wall decoration.
It's like you just spent, like you just spent all your money for what? Like just not to do what you had to do. And so that's what I'm not ready to do. You know what I mean? And that's what a lot of people in the world aren't ready to do. Some of them are like, what if I don't want to go because I don't want to go for something that I'm not going to end up doing in anyway, There's a lot of factors there.
To add on to that, Elias, tell me if I'm wrong, but the whole vet thing is kind of like a dream job now, right? Because it's not super realistic, is what I was getting from that. Yeah, and what were you, not in like a really difficult, really rude way, but like what's a realistic job that you would be super down to do for the rest of your life?
Um, honestly, my plan was if everything goes wrong, I'm gonna start an OnlyFans.
Yo,
I don't think I can give that family friendly check mark, but I think that's fine.
nah, it's cool, yo.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yo, it's okay. Everyone who mentions that is monetized, maybe.
For the most
Maybe.
part, for the most part.
Facts.
We'll take a chance. We don't even monetize, so who cares?
I didn't say what I was gonna put on my OnlyFans. I could just put pictures of my dogs.
You know, there's a like
Okay.
that's a real thing that people do, and they like
Mhm.
make as much money as the people doing other things, people modeling.
Modeling,
Yeah.
yes.
And that kind of yeah, that it's just
It's
like
crazy. That's
yeah,
wild.
that is wild to me. And also it's like that kind of branches into like there's so much other stuff you can do you don't need school for like that.
Mhm.
Like and also like that's like one of those things where it's like they tell you, hey, go do this. I know it costs a lot, but you know, there's loans and there's all this stuff. But you're telling me to do something that it's like when I think about it, it's like, hey, hold up, maybe that's not so much for me. Yo, maybe I want to try to do something without spending all that, and maybe I can actually get somewhere. You know, it massively depends on the person, but I feel like society standard for us is like, hey, you're successful if you went to school and got a degree.
Yeah.
Which is not I mean, like, yes, generally the person with more schooling and more education has the better paying job and is in the better situation, but like I don't I don't believe you really have to go to after high school to be successful. I think you need to finish high school. That's one of those things I'm really big on.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
get your GED,
Get your
your
diploma.
diploma.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least a replacement, if not actually going through the schooling. But my personal plan is to either directly go into the military, or because they'll pay for whatever school I want. Whenever I'm done doing what I need to do and I've served enough time, then they'll pay for school. But my plan was to go in and they'll train you to be an aircraft mechanic, a diesel mechanic. They'll train you to work schematics like that, and those are really high paying jobs, especially in the military. And I don't think there's any reason that I should pull myself into debt, because there's no way I'm paying for college. There's no way I'm paying for
Yeah.
anything after high school. You know,
Yeah.
there's just not enough time to go to school and to work without completely destroying yourself. But I think going into the military is like one of those good options for me, because after basic training, it can literally just be, hey, I want to go into this field, and they're like, heck yeah, go for it. Which
Yeah.
I think that's just one of the more realistic options, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and then like there's other alternatives too. Like also there's trade school, which is like college, but like not really.
College but
Yeah,
useful.
it's like for the
College but useful.
the service goods or something.
Yeah, college
You know,
but useful.
we're actually in like a
Yeah.
welding deficit or something. There like aren't enough welders to keep up with the demand.
So something that's really cool is that you mentioned that. I was talking to someone who went to MacArthur High School. I live right next to MacArthur High School in Irving. And a few years ago, when talk started happening about welding being one of those really scarce jobs that nobody wants to do because it's dangerous and it's really hard work, but some people enjoy it. My sister's best friend actually learned how to weld at MacArthur High School, and she's like, I don't think she's going into that career, but that's like one of the skills that she knows, and that one of the useful skills that she learned out of high school. I'm sorry to throw another topic in the middle of this, but why do they not teach us more useful things in high school?
Right.
Yeah.
Because I wish they taught us how to like file our taxes or something. Something useful. Do I really need to know what a series and a sequence is? No.
And especially
Yo,
like,
That one's
especially
me,
like,
for RJ. That one's for
yeah,
RJ.
Yeah.
me and Elias, yo, we're in pre-cal right now, and
Yeah.
I swear
bro,
everything's
I
passing right through one ear.
Literally in one ear, out the other. Literally
No
not
cap,
making
like
sense.
I really like Mr. A. I think he's great. You know, everything's cool. But I'm sitting there like, huh?
Literally, I sat at the back of his class and I just prop up my iPad so it looks like I'm doing stuff, and I just watch YouTube on my phone.
that's wonderful. Good to know
See,
that y'all
yeah,
are putting in your best effort.
no cap,
Yeah.
no cap. We are,
Dude,
but
I get so freaked out so many times a day in geometry because like I'll be doing my work and I do my work in geometry and I'll be sitting there actually working, and for some odd reason there's always an administrator or like a teacher or something that always walks into Miss Wright's class. Like, and I have her class second period and then I have her seminar. So I'm there for a whole 2 hours, if not a little
yeah,
bit longer. I guess that math checks out.
yeah,
But
yeah.
um I was I like watch movies on, because Disney Plus is still not blocked on the Wi-Fi. So I'll be like
It's
watching Gravity
not.
Falls,
Oh,
or
really?
no. It's not. I'll be like
Ooh,
watching Gravity Falls or watching one of the Marvel movies or
Interesting.
something, and I still get freaked out even though I know I'm doing my work. I still get freaked out that a teacher's going to walk up behind me, which I know that's kind of stupid and there's no reason for me to bring that up.
yeah.
But like,
I mean, hey, it's valid though, and like that's the
Mhm.
thing. Like that just proves the point that like we're forced to learn things that most of it we're not gonna use. And I feel
Literally.
like they should teach us more. I had a talk with, I was in seminar and I was talking to Mr. Sack.
Bill, I
And
love Bill. He's great.
yes, he's great.
Billiam.
And
Billiam.
he told me
Billiam
something
Sackowich.
interesting.
Sorry.
He said we should learn more to think for ourselves than to think of what they teach.
hmm
You know, because he said, especially in like, certain things, like they teach us a whole lot of things that aren't necessarily useful to us. And what I think they should teach us more is what we want to know about.
Yeah.
And
I,
a lot of the things they teach are things that you can pick up on yourself
Mhm.
if you really wanted to, and if you really wanted to go for learning that. But I feel like that they should teach things that we're interested in learning because we want to go into something that uses that. Like that's what I like about career high schools, like Debisky, and like
Mhm.
there's like a CTC in Arlington that my dad teaches at, Korean
yeah.
Tech Center. It is
hmm
great. They have so many career things they learn about, but like normal high schools don't provide that, and not everyone's getting into those career high schools,
Like,
but
and
those are
I
useful.
yeah, I was thinking that whole time, and I was putting it together in my head. If we just like taught more, like if we had a class called morals,
Morals. Just
like
Yeah.
morals.
basic people skills, and like communication, which I mean, like there's like speaking classes, like Ms. Levacy's class is basically a public speaking
Mhm.
class, and there's stuff like that that's kind of offered sometimes, but like I'm going to graduate not knowing how to get up and provide a point to a group of people
Right.
without sounding stupid.
Right.
I felt that. Even if I did graduate knowing how to do that, I would still sound stupid.
Right, and it would
Yeah,
still
like
kids really struggle, like especially nowadays with,
No, day.
yeah, right, especially
Back in
nowadays
my
with like
day,
with
social
like
media and stuff, how
with
everyone's
social
just like
media,
on social media.
like it's so much easier to shoot somebody a DM than it is to like call them and talk to them. And I'm
yeah,
guilty of
Mhm.
that. I'd much rather text someone than be on the phone because it's just less confrontation.
yeah, and
RJ's falling off of his bed right now. What do you?
it's even harder. It's even harder for someone in our generation to walk up to someone and talk to them.
hmm
Yeah,
It's very
literally.
hard. And so that's going to be difficult for people in interviews. you know, because interviews are a big part of like everything. It's a big part of your life.
Yeah,
You know,
it's
it
how you
shouldn't be
like
something you
literally make
walk in.
money.
Yeah, it's how you get your job. It's how you make money. It's literally crucial.
All right, on that, Elias, like, did you have like an official interview?
Yeah, I had an interview over. It was like Microsoft Teams or something. It was
Oh,
like
you had
the
a Teams
Microsoft.
interview?
Yeah, it was like literally the Microsoft equivalent of Zoom.
You didn't have a Zoomer, oh my gosh, I'm really trying to word right now.
Skype?
Zoomer view?
Zoomer, no, I had it over Microsoft Teams, and actually, and apparently, I didn't know this. The lady, she like blurred out the background. It was like blurry, and it would like move. And I thought that was pretty interesting.
It's pretty cool. That's probably a particular thing. You can change your background on this Zoom, I think.
Yeah, you want to
You
see? I
can.
have a good one. I have a good one that I
Can.
used for class.
No, we were just talking about
Yeah, we
it.
talked about
No.
Tiger King in the second episode.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I
That's
explained the plot of Tiger King, but like made it to where it sounded like a for real documentary, not like some methed out hillbilly.
Documentary.
Yeah. And which it is a real documentary technically, but it's like a stupid documentary. And look at RJ go.
RJ with the clapping emoji.
Yeah, I explained it,
Yeah.
and then I said Tiger King, and RJ and Lily were just both dying laughing. It was great.
Yeah, I used that actually when I first started like going back in person for Mr. Hayes' class. I have him for psychology, and he does like Zoom interviews or Zoom classes, and I had that as my background. He was like, "Ah, yes, Tiger King, the quarantine quintessential."
Yo,
He's
Mr.
great.
Hayes, man.
Mr. Hayes is on
He's
something
like,
different. He's
he
really
is the
Stan Mr.
definition of a
Hayes.
good teacher, bro.
Yeah, he's
And
like
he's a-
one of the few teachers classes that I like actually enjoy.
Okay, I'm saying this sort of jokingly, sort of not. So you know, again, a rabbit hole. You know how there's a whole I don't know what to say. There's like a whole thing around like if you had to survive a zombie apocalypse, who would you pick? There
You would pick Mr. Hayes?
You get to pick 5 people. Okay, so we were talking and he walked up because he heard me say like I said some random name. I was like Angelina Jolie, just like as a joke. And he walked up and he was like, zombies and Angelina Jolie, I'm in. What are we talking about? And I was like, who would you pick in a zombie apocalypse? And he was like, well, I picked this person and this person. And I was like, Mr. Hayes, you wouldn't pick me? I thought I was your favorite student. He was like, Michael, you can't pick someone who can overpower you. And I was like,
True.
wow.
Smart.
I was
Yeah.
like, whoa, that's big brain.
You don't
because
pick someone
because I was
faster
saying,
than you. You
I
pick
was
people
saying-
slower than you.
yeah, I was
Yes.
saying like, oh, The Rock, oh, this person, oh, this person. Like I was making funny celebrity ones, and he was like, no, for real, you can't pick someone who's bigger and stronger than you.
You know who I would pick?
Right.
I would pick Peter Dinklage, the little tiny one.
Okay, you can also pull in historical figures. I'm picking Napoleon.
Napoleon Dynamite. Oh, stupid. Yo, I used to love Napoleon Dynamite. I actually have a Napoleon Dynamite
Yo,
shirt,
you
but
know
I
his
don't know where it
his
went.
friend, what's his name?
Pedro?
Vote for Pedro. Yeah. Yo, oh my gosh, that was so funny, bro. I missed that movie. I don't know where I can watch that. That's lame.
Right.
I don't know.
I got
could probably find
websites.
Oh my gosh.
Speaking of website, no, I don't have a segue on that one.
Wait a minute.
Oh, I was gonna be like, Michael, you've done this too much already, bro.
Yeah, but yeah, it's wild that schools just like are like, hey, we literally spent. So I asked my parents, and they told me, they were like, I've never used trigonometry in my life, and we've literally been in geometry, and y'all have been past this. We've been using trigonometry for the last 3 or 4 months, and we've been perfecting it for the last 3 or 4 months, and it's just I'm
Okay, what's
sure
the
I'm
tangent?
exaggerating.
Tell me what the tangent is.
I have no idea. That's what I was getting to next. It's that when I'm not in that classroom, I have no idea what's happening. Like I don't I look at the homework and I'm like, wow, that's wild. Like,
Oh, really? That's crazy.
yeah, that's like a normal thing. A lot of kids are very confused and they don't understand. And then like something Miss Hartzell is doing is like, yeah, teach yourself this because we ran out of time. That's a wild concept to me. Like, why am I
Nah,
coming to
yeah.
school if I'm going to teach myself? Like,
Right.
I mean, like, I
Yeah,
get
for
it.
real.
I get the circumstances, but like, I've been in a situation where I've basically had to teach myself, and I like math has never been difficult for me. English though, I can't speak English, much less learn about
Clearly.
pure English. Yeah,
Bro.
and it's just like I still don't know what I still don't know the theirs. Like,
there.
She got
Two,
there,
two,
then
and
there's there,
two.
then there's there. They're all
like
spelled different,
you
but they're used totally different.
yeah, you look at my text and you're like, does this kid even speak English? Like,
Your and your.
okay, my one of my old friends basically like bullied me into using the right yours because they would like every time I would use the wrong your, they just wouldn't respond for a while. And I would have to figure out what the problem was. And I would have to go back. But they did that with like a lot of spelling errors and like stuff like that. So I would like use the wrong there. And then I would be 10 texts in because you know how you both know how I text. And if you know me, you know how I text. I send like 10 or 15 text
Mhm.
messages at a time.
Yeah,
All
literally.
like 3
No, yeah.
words.
I like have a whole like, verse to
Paragraph.
say or paragraph to say, but I'll say it in like
Verse.
5 different
Yeah,
messages.
that's how I
bro.
am. So I would have to like go back and I would be like, and then I would look it up and I would be like, I
Is
would be
this the
like,
right one?
did I
How
do
to
this wrong?
spell?
Yeah, basically. And I can't spell. So sometimes I'll be texting and I don't want to get a word wrong because then I'll be stupid. Like, especially in group chats. Sometimes I'll be texting and I'll jump over to Safari and I'm just like, is this how this word is used?
No, especially with certain people in group chats that want to correct every
Bro,
little spelling error you
for
make.
real.
Yo,
The
someone's
group
gonna
chat.
see this and know
Yeah.
we called them out, and that's hilarious.
No, they ain't gonna watch it. They don't care that much.
Oh, Red.
Yeah, for
Red,
real.
have
Yo,
hope.
but
Have hope.
speaking of English, bro, that's also another useless freaking class because I'm in AP Lit right now, AP Literature.
What do you
And
do
we
in
are
AP Lit? You just learn
Yeah.
gooder
We
English? Like,
we are literally learning how to analyze and take the meaning from like fictional and non-fictional like texts, whether it's
From
poems
a
or
mirror.
yeah. But whether
They're
it's
like,
from
there's a mirror. What does it mean? I don't know.
right,
They wanted
no,
to see
exactly.
themselves.
Okay, so poetry, right?
my phone is
Some
so
people
dirty.
it clicks with them. It just clicks so quick. They're getting what,
Hey, that's
and
me.
I'm like, where did we get this like huge life lesson from this field of grass and trees?
Right?
Like, I am so confused.
Hey, friends.
I see that up there.
Yeah, the meeting's gonna kill in 10 minutes, which I think is fine because we're at that. It would be at that point. It would be a 40-minute recorded meeting. So, or no, it wouldn't.
All right, that's
it would be
cool.
shorter. It's fine, but this is a short and sweet one. It's a lot of fun and everybody's inputting. Elias, start talking.
Oh, well, I got hired at Starbucks. It's very exciting. I'm starting work next week. I don't know the exact date, but like I'm gonna start next week. They like the girl that I did my interview with, she gave me a call and she was like, yeah, by the way, you're gonna start the week of the 5th. And that's kind of scary. Kind of a little scary, but it's very exciting because I'm gonna get that bag. And another, this is like jumping back a few topics, but like Starbucks, they could pay for your college. Well, specifically if you go to like ASU, Arizona State, and that might literally be the only reason why I go to college, just because they're paying for it.
Yeah, no, I would definitely go to college if someone was like, take my money.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah. Like, I think that's dope that you're like getting into that because I remember when I was getting my first job, bro, and I don't know why, but I was like so stressed out, dude. Like, now, if I'm trying to get like just a part-time job, I would go in like, okay, let me just show that I'm relevant and can do this job, and they might just hire me, right? But back then it was like I thought I was applying to like work at a law firm or something, yo. Like
Right, so
it was
professional.
so weird. And I was just like, oh my gosh, bro. And my interview, I was so nervous the whole time, but she was the manager interviewing me was so chill. I was like,
Right, I felt that. I was
it was like,
literally the
oh my
exact same.
gosh.
My heart, it was like beating fast. My hands, they were like
Yeah.
shaking because of how nervous I
Yeah, yo.
was.
Literally, I was like, my ADHD was going crazy. Almost everything in my body was like trying to move, but I stopped and I thought about her questions and I went with my real answer. And now I want a new job.
See, something that's wild is that I don't think I could ever like. I don't know how I would do in an interview because I'm a little. Whenever I'm around people that I know I need to be professional around, I either try to joke too much and it goes the wrong way, and it
Seems
gives
like childish and
yeah, it seems
immature.
childish, but like my joking is very serious, so they really don't know how to like. It's very dry whenever I don't know a person so well, and I because like generally speaking, a lot of people have dry humor, so if you can connect with that, you can usually branch off of it. But
Yeah.
I would either because I've done like interviews not like for jobs, but like for positions and like just like basically my only actual interview was with Duarte. All the other ones were like for fun. It's so weird to say a for fun interview, but
Yeah.
but like it's like I either go one way or the other. Like I'm too childish or I'm way too serious, and they're like, "Nah, dude, you need to chill out." Like,
Dude, take a
Yeah.
chill pill.
but I don't know how I would do in like an actual for real job interview because all of the work that I've done is like I go and help somebody do some landscaping, or I like go and help plant a tree or two, and then I mow or something like that, and I get a little bit of money on the side to do that. But like I've never had like a real job, if that makes sense.
Yeah, like if there's any advice I have, it's just like don't go in trying to like fake stuff, but also don't go in with the mentality that I'm just gonna be how I usually go in professional you.
Yeah.
Don't go in fake too professional. Don't go in not professional at all and just be like my everyday self. But like go in with like a professional attitude and like
Yeah.
just be ready for what they tell you and answer it real. And you should be just fine, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
There were a few questions in my interview where she asked me what I had done in a certain situation, and like obviously I don't have that much experience, so I didn't have that certain experience. I didn't have that like certain experience that she was asking for or whatever. So I literally just like thought of the first thing that came to my head. May have been true, may have not been true. Who knows?
Right. So
Hey,
like
I mean,
RJ and Elias, y'all would say like for someone because our age group is the age group that's starting to do like job interviews and stuff like that. The best thing to do is be yourself, but also be pretty professional and err to the side of being professional over being a goofball. Yeah.
Yeah. Also,
yeah.
you could like look up a bunch of the interview questions that they could ask you, so that way you're prepared and not just like.
So basic idea: be prepared, be ready for anything, have your morals straight before you get there, type thing. And
Yeah,
just
like-
Take the moral class. Take the moral class.
Yeah,
The
take
moral
the moral
class in
class.
high school, yes.
Definitely.
Facts.
And I hate to kill it early, but I just got a text from one of my parents. I got to go do something. And thank you so much, Elias. This was very productive, and we would for sure like to have you again whenever we're not being rushed by a timer or anything else.
Bro, this one was super rushed. We needed to get something out today, though.
Yeah, we just needed to punch something out. Maybe on the next one we can have you for like a full hour or something like that. But
yeah,
if you made it to the end, thank you for listening to Not for the Coffee Shop, and I think that's it. Y'all did great. Thank you, Elias.